The Who Would Win of the Week this week is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family versus Jerry from Rick and Morty. Couple of TV dads, both kind of doofuses. I mean, the one thing about Phil Dunphy is that he does have a job, which is usually more than you can say about Jerry Smith, so that's big. Here's the thing. I don't know if Phil is necessarily smarter than Jerry. I think Jerry might be smarter than Phil, to tell you the truth. But Phil, even if he's goofy, even if he's a bit of a doofus, he is driven. Like, he tries things. Like, he
bought that parking lot.
He bought that parking lot like that. I mean, that shows you a lot right there. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Jerry Smith is always kind of like looking for the easy way out, blaming people for his problems, like just being a real kind of, as much as he looks and oftentimes kind of, I think, comes across as like just a typical kind of regular guy who's maybe a little dumb, maybe a little down on his luck, he really is a piece of shit. Like, there's that part in Rick and Morty where he like tries to borrow money from his daughter. Like, that's what you do if you're a piece of shit. Like, I think the only other people who do that are like pill addicts and stuff like that. And that's the level that I put Jerry Smith on. And Phil Dunphy, like, say what you will about him, sure, he's made a lot of mistakes, sure, he's oblivious to a lot of stuff. He is not gonna, try and sell one of his daughter's kidneys or something like that, no. Right? And that's a Jerry Smith move.
The thing about, I actually don't know if I knew that Jerry was like that much of a scumbag.
Yeah, he is.
I hate Jerry.
I know. I mean, because like there's parts of it where, because Jerry just acts so pitiful, like, it almost seems like maybe he deserves that you should feel bad for him a little bit, but then but he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. See,
and Phil isn't.
The thing that I like about Phil Dunphy is like, one, he's like ultra positive. Right, in the sense where, like, when something goes wrong, for the most part, he always finds a way to spin it into something going right, which seems to be the exact opposite of Jerry, right? Yeah. Like, Jerry just mopes. The other thing is, and this is something I think we can both relate to, is Phil Dunphy has the kind of anxiety about unknown situations that are probably never bound to happen.
You think Phil Dunphy would run into the house during an eclipse? During totality?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily what I was saying. That was mean, first of all.
No, it wasn't.
What I'm saying is, like, we had this conversation when we were talking about going to California, and it's like Phil Dunphy has that kind of anxiety ingrained in him where he's mapping out potential, like, unrealistic scenarios in his head of, like, conversations or things that could happen that are ridiculous but could cause whatever his plan is to go wrong. Whereas I don't think that's how Jerry's kind of like squirmy anxiety works. I think Jerry's like oddballishness.
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think Jerry's anxiety is more of like a kind of a selfish anxiety. Like, he's nervous, but he doesn't want to, but he'll like push anybody in front of the alligator. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll push anybody in front of the bullet.
Whereas Phil Dunphy is not that.
Yeah.
Now,
Jerry, though, the thing about like just the Rick and Morty's universe in general and like what that family gets into, like, he's certainly been in more scrappy situations, I think, than Phil, and like very, very weird things, and has come out on the other side. So if he's going face to face with just like a regular guy, I do think that he is going to go into it with a lot of confidence. However, the one thing about Jerry Smith's confidence is that it never lasts long.
See, I don't think he would have confidence to begin with, because the thing about when Jerry gets put in situations in Rick and Morty is he doesn't do anything. Like, he mostly turtles.
Right.
And then, like, obviously Rick and Morty get them out of it. Or, like, when something weird happens to him, like, they put him back together, and he just freaks out the whole time that whatever weird is going on with him. And, like, that's all that is. Whereas, again, Phil Dunphy, like, with his probably sometimes overconfident self and over positivity mixed in with his probably ability to, or his natural instinct to plan for unique scenarios that most people expect not to happen, but might happen when you're fighting a character from the Rick and Morty universe. I think it's Phil Dunphy every time. Also, I just think physically, like, Phil Dunphy looks like he could beat the shit out of
I think you're
Jerry. Like, I actually hate. Wasn't even thinking about it, and then you kind of were explaining how he's a dirtbag, but just I hate the way he looks. He's a cartoon, and I hate the way he looks. Like, I just want to punch him in the face.
I do think you're right. I think Phil's probably got the physical edge because, again, Phil is like a driven guy, and Jerry just doesn't have that. And, you know, the reason we picked these two characters is because they're both TV dads, and I think that which one is the better father actually does come into play here because Phil obviously is the better father as much as, again, his goofiness, his anxiety. He does try to do right by his kids. That is not really that much of a priority for Jerry. That's why Summer and Morty do not respect him. And I think that's going to...
Is he divorced?
I think... No, I don't think so. They were, like, separated, and now I think they're back together.
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But I think that Phil... having that experience of being a dad where he has tried to the point where, yes, he's failed at certain times, but he's also wanting to succeed is going to put him in a position mentally to win this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Phil Dunphy here.
There we go. Phil Dunphy all the way, folks.
I hate Jerry. Vote on that on Friday on Instagram. Who would win of the week?